Ruff Sqwad's back outside though.
Yes, man.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Why?
That's a good question. Why not? I think what's happened is just like it's just been like an alignment, man. You know, I've been doing my own thing. Rapper's been doing his thing. Slits has been doing his thing, and it was just the thing where they came to my studio one time and they were like, "Yo, we want to create some music." I've been making some solo music. I've got like a whole project ready to go, but I've always enjoyed making music with these two. You know, so I thought, yeah, why not? Let's just do it and see what happens from it. Like, I'm never saying no to something that I know what was magic when we was used.
Magic.
You know what I mean? So I just thought, yeah, why not? Let's just see where it flows, and I can still do both. I can do me and this. So for me,
what's your
why
perspective
not?
on that as well, Rapid? Like, obviously, it has been a while since you lot have like come back together and done some stuff. Really, yeah. Like, why do you think for you that it was like a decent time to do that?
I think people, the listeners, have a lot to do with the reason why I chose to be part of this and produce, because I think as you're going by your day-to-day life and people are messaging you constantly, or you're outside, you're in the shopping market, or you're on road anywhere, and people are constantly trying to, when's new music coming out?
Yeah.
Like, when you doing this? When you're, even though I can be producing in the background anyway, I'm making music, giving it to artists, I'm writing or whatever, but it's like that Ruff Sqwad sound. Like, I don't stop hearing about it. So it's like that combined with just me just wanting to, I wouldn't say prove, but wanting to put out music in 2024 and to let people know, wait a minute, when I was 16, the kind of fire I had, I still have that fire, and it still sounds, if not the same, but better. And I just wanted to kind of like prove it to myself and prove it to the followers and the fans that, wait, man still got this, and man's still hard, and the beats are still, they'll still catch you. You know what I mean?
Say what I'm saying, yeah. I remember I signed up to the gym for the first time.
Chat to them.
And I bought me a little headphones and that. I needed to find myself in a thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Man,
I'm in there, mad skinny now, trying to figure out my way in the gym. Yeah.
Like
you know what? Do you know what? Yeah, I absolutely used to batter in the gym.
Oh my lord.
See this thing here? This thing here is like one of my favorite classics in life.
Ooh, extra.
Big up Rapid, man.
Come on, man.
Rapid,
Yeah, man.
brother. I don't know. Maybe I think, I don't even know, because I remember years ago, I met you years ago, and I don't even know if I ever asked you, but a thing that would always come to my head is like, what was going on in your head, bro? Like, what was going on in your head?
You know what? These man Slicks regularly asks me that even today, as we're grown men. Like, he plays beats. Is like, where was you when you did this? Why did you do it? Was you in your mum's house? Was you angry?
You're angry.
And I can't. You know what I mean? Like, half the time I can't remember, but I know. What I do know is the music was an extension of my emotion or my brains, whatever we were going through outside, when we were outside in a way, whether it's beef, whether it's love, whether it's family, whatever, any emotion that I had, I just put it into the music, into the instrumental, and man was making the music like it was computer games. You understand? You know how people on FIFA whatever for hours, that being on Fruity Loops or making music was my FIFA or my Pro Evolution. So it's just like banging it out. But yeah, to answer that, it's just my inner emotion, whatever I was thinking was just, I just put it into the music, and that's what come out. It wasn't planned or anything. Man wasn't making the music thinking, I want to make something like this, like that, or I want to make a top 10, I want to make a banger, and it's a bit underground. It was just like, it was just divine, and it just came.
So
Can I just be, because you know what, yeah, you know I'm too much of a Grand fan. This means a lot to me, and I could do the build up, but there's just information I just need to know, and I don't get.
I was just about to ask it.
So, Boy Better Know, one of my favorites in the scene. And the reasons why I've always loved Boy Better Know is because they protect their artists without even knowing they're protecting their artists. So if Skepta makes a song with a girl from EastEnders and it doesn't do well, because you did, and I was upset about it, and it doesn't do well, the fall from grace is not that far. Do you know why? Because you land on Boy Better Know. Strongly. So therefore, because of that, I just feel like you could elevate quite cool. I felt...
I see where we're going.
Of course, come on. When Tinchy, when the grace wasn't happening, I was vexed. I was like, because I always loved Ruff Sqwad. Ruff Sqwad was my... Anna was on rotation on Channel U. We didn't have a choice, bro. I was number one for like 77 years. So I used to love that rhythm just by accident. Even if I didn't want to love that rhythm, I had to love that rhythm. And I always thought to myself, that sound... how unique you lot were. You were the best dressed at one point. Like from East London, no one looked like you lot. You were just, bruv, you were so cold, bro. And I just said to myself, why did you lot separate? And then that all that fall from grace for Tinchy wasn't even there anymore. And I didn't know what everyone was doing individually. What happened around that, would I say 2010, 2011 time? Like what was going on for that sort of situation to no longer be there? Because just as a selfish fan, I think to myself, fuck it, you lot were doing O2 today. You lot were massive, absolutely massive. You spoke to everyone. So what was happening around that 2010 time for that situation to not be what
I was gonna
people
say,
like the fans love?
Just going back to the point about the fall from grace almost.
Yeah.
And almost they use the analogy of like a cushion.
Yeah.
I think the person has to see the cushion as a cushion, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
we didn't feel like that. We didn't feel like that. But I'm saying even the person like Skeppy might be wise and smart enough to know that even if I take this, you understand?
Yeah.
These men have got my back, and these man can but if a next man doesn't look at the man them like that, then obviously
there
isn't
nothing.
a cushion anyway.
There isn't. Okay.
You know what I mean? So they just take the step, and whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's what it is.
No, you're just saying that could.
I've never thought of it in that way. Like, bro, how come? Because people always say, "How come Tinch didn't? How come Tinch?" And I'm like, you have to ask Tinch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But when you're using that kind of breakdown, I'm like, raw, that means maybe a man didn't look at it in that way.
Because you lot all individually were too cold. You all offered something different. My favourite, obviously, Rapid, the cadence, at that time, the cadence was too, it used to cut through. It used to cut through. Big shot, Papa's like, yeah, come on. And it just, I can't down, brother. So like, well, honestly, that sort of, so then how did that,
Sorry, that was slicks, by the way.
No, that's what I said.
How did that make you lot feel though? Like, for example, that 2010, that 2011 period, when you think you've had them sort of like, even your photo shoots were fucking incredible. Yeah. Do you remember that photo shoot you've got outside? You're all spaced apart, and I think you're all standing side with like with everything you did, brother. Everything you lot done was unique and different. How did it get to the point? Like, when did you start noticing that? Because you clearly spent a lot of time together to build that sort of. When did you start feeling that the separation happening? And did anyone do anything to try and like salvage it at the time?
Well, you have to remember, there's proper like grime was just elevating, innit? As we all know, like we didn't know where this thing was going. When Tinchy blew, we didn't know where he was going. We didn't know what was happening. Everyone was just trying to get on. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a lot of frustration, a lot of things like no communication, a lot of frustration, trying to understand what am I doing? Like we're growing up, everyone's trying to make money at the time. Everyone's trying to do different things to maintain this thing happening. Do you know what I mean? So I think it was just down to communication, where it was just like, alright, no one really knows where they stand. We're still making music, but there hasn't actually been a conversation where we're like, what are we doing? Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's where separation kind of started to take place.
So what? But why was there never that conversation? Like,
there was.
There was. Okay. Who was the leader of that? And like, what did that conversation look like?
You're probably talking about earlier times, isn't it? I'm talking about 2011, 2012.
Okay, yeah. Before then, but like when things started to like actually take off. Let's say there wasn't no plan. My man's gonna go, and then we're gonna. 100%. There was nothing there. It was just
there was
happening.
no plan, nothing. Everything was just.
Everything was just flowing. Like it was just happening, isn't it?
You know the thing about Graham. I only realised the other day. You see the span of that hype. So maybe Crazy Titch, Conflict, Dizzy, You know, when we're in it felt like 10 years. It was literally about 3 or 4 years. You know.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long, you know.
That's like Bob Marley. Bob Marley was like 4 years, you know. I don't get twisted.
But it felt like 10 to maybe 12 years. It was like Power came out. I look at like, now let's take it from Oi, like from
Crazy.
Oi, I don't know. Was that 02. I don't know when that was.
That was I don't even. That was on top of the pops. So I genuinely can't remember when that was. That was on top of the pops.
That's when I'm locked into pirate radios and I'm listening to.
I'm gonna say that it was 02 though.
So let's say it's 02, yeah. Then 04. These are the milestones for me in my head. Then 04 is POW.
Another.
Then after that, everything's gone mad,
bro.
But then when it got to like 07, that's when it's like the commercial aspect starts to kind of seep in. 08.
Yeah, 08. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 08. By 09, I won't say it's done, but 09 they've kind of taken
the source out of
it.
Yeah,
Pirates are done. So how many years is that? That's like 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not even that long.
And look at the impact that has in 5 years.
By the way.
Yeah. Oh, it's 01?
01, yeah, because
01.
Yeah, because Oi started to filter in to the end of like the garage kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like when the music was changing a little bit,
it did.
Oi was like happening, and I remember like Master Steps was at the forefront of pushing that because obviously he was a garage DJ, and then I think even at the time he might have been on Choice FM them times there.
He was.
So, but yeah, you are right though. It's interesting because ultimately in that span there, in that you're talking about, it weren't a long time really.
But then you lot took over because the one thing, and the kid is, although you say there was no plan, it felt like to me there was a plan. Almost subconsciously, I used to see Tinchy Stride and an introduction of Ruff Sqwad, especially as a visual. You lot don't understand. Even something as Risky Roads 2, we would play the start of it with you lot. And you know, with that beat that they had running throughout the whole thing of Risky Roads 2. That exactly, you bloody well, bruv, we would watch you lot at the start because you lot were the first ones to spit on it with Rochi. I'm talking wheel it, watch it again. Wheel it, watch it again. Because in my mind, I thought these lot were like a group from New York. That's how you came across, like a group from New York, which meant like Dipset, for example. Tinchy goes, dangerous.
Yeah, because you know what, Tinch was going, but for me, I was always quite fixated on Slicks.
Brother, Slicks was the best dressed.
Yeah. I was just always very like, I don't know. It was again. That cadence that you was talking about that rapid had, for me, there was your cadence that really, do you know what I'm saying? But I did think though at some point when Tinchy was going or whatever, that there were going to be moments when I would see more of you individually, but still with him, and then it just never really, it didn't seem like it transpired that way.
Yeah, I think there was an assumption in our minds though. It was almost like an unwritten law, if that makes sense. Like we just thought, like I personally thought, that's definitely gonna happen. It's just a matter of when, but let him cut you, let him do what
Yeah.
And then obviously you have a lot of people talking to you, but we're mad young, innit? Everyone's young. The grime scene's kind of early, and then he's just gone commercial quickly. It's a new land, and the guy who paved it was kind of just there by himself for ages. Was Dizzy.
Yeah.
Dizzy was doing festivals and that early, just in the land, bro. Just by himself. The gap was like this already. So then when Tinchy kind of gets through, sometimes the people that might be in his ear as well, this is what I'm assuming, I tell him, look, you just got to just focus.
It was like that.
That's what Dizzy done. You got to just do what Dizzy done. We're looking for another person who can get into that space. You can't emulate what he done. You can get into that space.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So maybe
like,
that's what it was.
Tiny, Chip, it was always like one man that kind of came through, and it wasn't like a group thing. Except for So Solid, really, they wasn't trying to see a bunch of man like that again. But I don't think there was even like conversation for that to actually happen. Like, okay, this is when we're gonna come through. There wasn't like a date or alright, you do your first album, then the man and the album's coming. There wasn't that. Do you know what I mean?
Do you reckon it was because that like for us anyway over here, we hadn't seen it yet. You know, like sometimes they say that like you can be it when you see it. Sometimes if someone's achieved it, you're like, okay, I could do that. Yeah. But it's like,
you can be it when
So Solid, what they did, it's so unfortunate that like there was an element of the industry that was shutting them down because there was obviously some street shit that was going on here, there, whatever, but the ethos and the core of what Mega was trying to do, had he have been left alone to implement it, I think that would have been the thing that everyone would have been able to see and say, do you know what? See that blueprint there, that we could do an element of that. And I think that for them, an element of that got shut down quite quickly while they was in the height of their success, Whereas when Dizzy's gone through or whatever, ultimately it's just one man that's gone through. There's not an example of someone else that's like within some sort of crew that's now brought this one in. Then it's like, when Kano had a little element of it. Do you get what I'm saying? We did a podcast time ago where I was looking at the evolution of Wireless Festival. Yeah, which is one of the favorite pods that we did. Yeah, and when you look back on their earlier lineups, it was all rock bands. It started from on a Thursday, it used to go on until Sunday, pretty much rock bands or whatever. But there was one man.
Yeah,
there was like a Roots Maneuver here, and then there was Dizzy. Yeah, then you go a couple of years later, and you might see a Kano in there. Then you see a one Tinchy. It was like, but there was not an example of, okay, boom, this one he's here. All right, cool. Yeah, you come through and you do that. So if it's not there, no one ain't doing it. Then naturally, there's going to be a person that's just in this thing, and they're not even looking
100%.
left, right, or whatever.
But
then that causes conflict.
You just made me realize there's a silent pattern there, though, actually, because I think you said Dizzy, you said Kano, and let's just use Tinch for example. Dizzy was roll deep.
Kano's Nasty Crew.
It's like, it's not a crew thing. It's like one man. We can do. The crew's gonna build the hype, do what they're doing, go off underground, pirate radio, and then we're gonna just take the pick of the litter, cut through. And then they're going to tell you just stay focused. Because
that was the problem with the industry anyway. The problem with the industry anyway was only one person could get through. Exactly. Because you had you could gatekeep it better than times there for them. Oh yeah, boom, give us this record. We could get it played on Zane Low. We could get it played here. We could get it played there. There wasn't a landscape where it was like how it is now. I just like what I like. I don't even listen to radio. I just like this. I just like them. Yeah. So these lot, it was like, well, it's a bit risky. These lot are from this area or whatever, and they are doing a little cool thing, but it's just one of you, though. Yeah. Just one of you.
It's interesting, that concept there. Very, very. What's different now then? Because it's like, I take a look at what was happening then. The most important thing for me
streaming.
Is that, streaming is definitely a big thing now. But in terms of you guys, you always made good music. You always had an interesting visual for me. It could be something for your smile. It could be underground. It could be Anna. It was always never the same. What's going to be the approach this time which separates you again? Because everything you did was to separate yourselves. What's the music again?
100%. I know it sounds cliche to say, but we've got the strongest catalogue anyway.
100%.
Like the only person that I would say in terms of like a body of work in the catalogue is Dizzy Rascal for Boy in the Corner.
Crazy.
But in terms of consistency on production, maybe not bars. I know everyone doesn't look at the Ruff Sqwad as barman, and I'm okay with that. But in terms of these two guys here, and God bless your soul, DJ Scholar. Yeah. But no one's messing with the catalogue, and I say that respectfully. The catalogue's too strong.
Bruv, Scholar was crazy.
Yeah, the catalogue's
Scholar
too
was
strong.
crazy.
Scholar,
of course. But we did a pod of them,
Going back to what you said as well with the crews, I think someone who kind of changed that pattern was like Wiley, because when he kind of come through, then you saw the whole of Roll Deep. Even though they were on radio, he kind of bust through, did his thing, and it was like, yo, Roll Deep. Then was able to kind of like push them through to the like commercial market though, and come through with that them singles like pushing the
Green Light
away. You know what I mean? Even though it was quite commercial, but at the time that's you had to eat. You was doing what you was doing.
But to be real with you, if that was us, I'm glad that didn't happen to us, because that could have because we could have went down that same road and done those same type of songs, and then man would be thinking, "Rob, what happened to Ruff Sqwad?
What happened to you, man?"
You know what I mean? So it's actually a blessing that we're here, then we're here now, innit? We'll see.
Wiley definitely did. He did it, and he was successful at it because he had a good few of those rhythms. But if you look at his behaviour patterns in and around that time, it was a formula that worked for him, but he wasn't doing that. He didn't turn up to no video shoots.
Nothing.
He didn't do nothing. I don't think he did any real press around it, really. It was just like a man who understood the science of the time. Oh, this is what you look like. This is the cadence. This is the sonics. I could do that. And what was the girl's name that he had on one of the songs? She was cold as well.
Black skin girl.
Nah. What is that?
Who, Wiley?
Nah, Wiley had
No, Wiley had a girl on the song that was cold.
Yeah, what was her name?
Wiley's got some rhythms, fam.
I'm gonna find it now. I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, sorry, bro. Was there... What was her name?
What rhythm?
It was a jungle one or something. The drum and bass thing.
Bug me.
I'm gonna wait for you to do this.
Yeah, but you know what, Poet? Going back to your earlier question as well about kind of like why now or what's going to be different now.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of like, we kind of stopped around the YouTube era. So we're kind of like pirate radio, DVDs, YouTube stop. So when they kind of took away the underground scene, it kind of left us in limbo. Like, what do we do? How do we do? Because we were our own radio. We was our own Spotify.
Brother,
We was our own playlist. We was our own everything. We didn't have to ask anyone for anything. We could just go on radio, play it, and everyone's locked in. But I think now it's a thing where we know our powers. We've taken a while to just sit back, listen to everything that's going on. I know there's a space for this. We're not trying to compete with anybody. We never have.
Yeah.
We were just part of the
100%.
movement. So I think now, just understanding that power, you can embody your power even more. Make music. That's always going to be great. It's always going to have a timeless essence to it, and just pull it out there. And whatever happens, happens. I think that's what it is, man.
I wish, like Heat FM. Heat FM was our North London thing. I wish I could make an equivalent today with the whole thing that if you don't have a crew, you can't have a set.
Oh shit.
Was that the pattern?
Huh?
Was that the pattern? Was that
No,
official?
but that's what I would do. In order for me to
No, on
force
Heat FM.
Heat FM. No. Heat FM, you just had a crew because you get
There's
robbed.
always
That's
crews.
Everyone was in a
Crews
crew.
got
Everyone was in
invited.
a
No, but
crew.
when you said it, it just made me think that's what maybe
It
the
felt
rule
like
was.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it was
Now
more
you just said
protection.
it.
Like we went to radio when I used to go radio, we went Axe FM and it was in Brimsdown.
Axe,
We
yeah.
went with like 15 people because
Yeah.
we knew numbers will intimidate.
Yeah.
Because we can't. We're not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight. I'm too skinny. I'll turn sideways, miss bullets, all sorts. But we knew in a big group, you might get a conversation. We'll check my next time, man.
Yeah.
So we always, and then that looks like our crew, but essentially there was like only 4 man that spat.
Yeah.
Couple man kickball.
That's how
next,
we
you know how it
started.
was.
That's
Next
how
man
we
might
started. Same thing.
trim man. Next, it was just a
Yeah.
big group of people. So yeah, I just felt I would love to have a radio station and say unless you've got a crew, you cannot be involved. And then tie that in with maybe doing sound systems at Carnival and something like that. Because
That'd
that's
be
all I think the grime scene needed. It just needed an infrastructure because, like I said, you lot are some of the greatest talents to come at production. You say you haven't got bars, bro. I tell
No,
people all the time, the ability to say something and for someone to retain it and say it back to you, that's
years.
an amazing skill, bro. For years and it's an amazing skill. And one thing that you lot had,
D, that's it.
Miss D.
Miss D.
That's
Miss
the one.
D was cold,
Yeah.
bro.
I'm looking, all I can see is flipping.
She's out here writing, you know.
She was
Oh,
on
She's
these,
out here writing, you know now.
Is she, yeah?
Like, if I could,
Miss D,
if
yeah,
I
she's
could
cold.
a banger with
Yeah,
Ed
yeah,
Sheeran while he
She's got
walking on the beach.
Her voice, it was amazing. Her voice.
But was she in the video? She wasn't in the video.
No, she wasn't in the
They
video.
didn't
Why
put
not?
her in
And
that.
I'm sure there was politics behind
Yes,
that.
I think. No,
it?
I don't know.
But it was the black girl thing.
That's what I
Serious?
just
It was
said.
that.
Yeah.
So she didn't look. Wait,
Rafi Jones.
am I going mad? I'm sure there's even
They
a
J-Lo
situation.
there.
Yeah. It was. That's
couldn't
where it
even be
was,
going more
man.
mad, yeah. But I'm sure there was a situation where she'd written a song, her voice was on it, but they used another girl.
Just
Who
like
ended
with
up
J-Lo.
innocent, yeah.
Listen, fam, it's because of J-Lo. Blame J-Lo, fam. Ashanti
J-Lo,
was
man.
singing J-Lo's vocals. It's crazy out here.
Really?
What? I'm real.
I didn't know that.
Come
Is
on,
it?
big facts, yeah.
What?
And they had the cheek to put her in the end of the video, just sitting on the side of the chair like this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's a crazy game,
It's
man.
a crazy game.
Very calculated.
Yeah, it's a
Miss
vibe.
D,
Miss
my
D,
G,
I love for
man.
that. Yeah, love for that. That's a good
Shout out
vibe,
Miss
yeah.
D every single time, man.
she's
So you're
right.
saying this time now, the thing that separates you is the music.
Let me see it.
Russ.
Sorry, bro.
No, that's alright. You're saying this time separates you.
This is pretty, man.
Miss D's my. That's my.
Okay, so
good
that's the
person,
person
bro.
who was spitting the verse, yeah?
Yeah,
But they didn't
yeah.
put it in the video.
Chorus.
They didn't put her in the
Chorus.
video.
Did
Big
someone
hooks.
miming it instead, or?
I can't remember, but I do remember the politics around
There
it,
was
though.
politics,
I
though.
remember that, like, she weren't in the video because maybe it wasn't, she didn't fit the thing or whatever.
You put
And
the
if
black
I'm
girl.
going, I could be
It
wrong in
was.
saying this, but they might have used somebody else. But I just know that she weren't in it.
Just know they would have used the lightest skin girl ever. They'd have used my complexion. It happened.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me
I
if I'm
had the
wrong.
same
But she's
thing at
cold,
the
though.
time,
Her voice
so.
was amazing. So.
Sorry, but I can't coach you. What you doing?
Yeah, so like you're talking about how the music's different right now, but do you ever think about your approach? Because you said that you've come out at a time where it was very much self-sufficient DIY. We can do it all ourselves. That's not the case now. Furthermore, do you have problems trusting in other individuals? Because you're working with my guy Morg, shout out Morgs, absolute
Big up
hero.
Morgs, yeah.
How difficult is it for you to go from EA Sports is here, by the way, people. How difficult is it for you to go from self-sufficiency to now I've got to depend on an external party? Something I've never usually done before. How difficult is it for you to get to that
Really good question again. I think in the time that we haven't necessarily, we've been making music, but we've been doing other stuff. I was telling Chucks that we've got a charity, we had our own
Serious?
label, we've been working with young people, been managing people, so we understand more about infrastructure now and the importance of it. You understand? So even going back to what you was talking about, Skeppy and Boy Better Know, that's him understanding the mechanics of having the infrastructure. Do you know what I mean? And knowing how different people can do different things, and if it doesn't work, that can maybe, you know what I mean, help or whatever. It's a recovery method. But I think for us now, when we look back, like we didn't realize that Scholar was managing at one stage, or I was managing at one stage, or I was at A&R at one stage. Or,
Jesus,
there was no title for it. We
yeah,
were just
yeah.
youths, and I'd be like, that tune's sick. Like most of these tunes that you're talking about, Rapid or Dirt would make them, and I'd be the first person to say, yo, this tune's sick, you know. Come and do something with it. That's why you might have heard me on the hook. It wasn't because it wasn't because them lot chose me on the hook. It's just that I just got it first. That's all it was, type thing. But it's now understanding the game, understanding the mechanics. It's evolved, you know what I mean? It's developed, it's progressed, and we can utilize that a lot more.
Do the older heads do you lot chop game with each other? Because I be watching America, and I just see like Cameron and May sit down talking, and then I'll watch Joe Budden. Joe Budden will be on it. Who's that? Rappers will just come in and just sit down, have conversations. Map off used to be in the barbershop bare. Do you and the old school individuals from Graham chop it up?
It would be nice, but no, that's not really. No, we don't.
Nah, we gotta get this happening. Man, them gotta chop up like it was Rewind Forum.
Yeah, a lot of conversations need to be had, man. I think it will definitely help shape this thing. Like, I think if that was happening back in the day as well, we was like coming together and talking together, we could have actually grew the scene to a different place. Like it would have taken us quicker to get to where we got to now. If we would have had unity, like you say, Ruff Sqwad, Boy Better, no Nasty Crew, whoever, Roll Deep, but we was like linking up and planning things or bringing youngers in, would have been further than where we are now.
Did you ever reach out to them when you? Did you ever reach out to them? Or?
No, we didn't. But it just never felt like it was that way inclined. Everyone was just like, you do your thing, we do our thing, and that's where it was. We see each other, yeah, it's cool, it's all cool, but there was no real unity. It's just like it was competition as well, wasn't it? Like that part played a part as well. It's like everyone's just doing their thing. So
and this is gonna put you on the spot a little bit, but in saying that, there's a lot of conversations that would be useful to be had. Thinking about it, like, what conversation do you think needs to be had with who?
Jeez. Big boy.
That's a crazy. That's 30 yards. Top ins.
At this point, it would have to be so. I don't even think it's like where we are right now, like the old school scene, because we're not the ones that, like, we're not the gatekeepers at the moment. Like, there's people like Stormzy that might be better to have a conversation with someone like Skepta to create something. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because them man have the lights right now. So,
but even I hear what you're saying, but even just like for like reflection's sake, like, I know that there's many conversations within that are useful to be had. Nothing's going to change necessarily now because time's gone by or whatever. Certain things have just played out the way that it's played out. But even for like just the purposes of this was actually a thing, and like we never really discussed it. But I think do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you. Because Grime would have had loads of those.
There would have been so many of them.
So much of those where you think even to this day you have an issue with someone, but essentially when you sit down and speak about it and unpack it,
100%.
nothing's even going on.
Yeah.
I think, do you know the biggest part of the Grime scene?
No, I want to put pressure on.
For real. Let's push the mic.
Like who?
I'd ask a question. I would say something. I would want to speak to Dizzy.
Go.
And I would want to know. It's not even from a position of entitlement. It's just more so understanding, because obviously you went through something. Remember back then, we're kind of privileged at the moment, so we know about therapy, PTSD, mental health. No one knew what that stuff was back then.
It was we'll get on with it.
Yeah, so he went through whatever he went through, but obviously we was around him, not kind of directly, but we're from the same ends.
Yeah.
And something happened after the incident, and it's just more so of a question to understand. Like, we never got to ask that question. Not that we needed to, but now I'm older and wiser. I'm like, yo, like
you might have needed to.
Yeah, maybe it's true. Might have needed to, but again, not knowing. That was such a normalised thing back then, so it's like
I hear you,
and he's come back and he's got on with it,
brother.
Do you know what I mean?
And
so we're just thinking, okay, he's got on
like
with it.
Literally flew, like he achieved off the back of that.
Do you know why that's mad as well? Yeah, it's because obviously I'm taking it outside of music a little bit, just very quickly. It's that in reflection a lot now, I think about some of my brethren that I grew up with, and what was going on in their household that was just super normal for us on my estate. It's like I give an example of one of my brethren. At the time, going to his house was the funnest thing. I could do everything. I could walk in the yard with my shoes on. We could fling things around. We could gas things. I could, you know what I mean? Like the fridge was like we could
he
just
white?
do what we wanted. Yeah. But we could just do what we wanted. No, but hear what I'm saying though, yeah. But now as a big man, I look back at that and I'm like, rah, like
There was
dad was
things going on.
alcoholic.
Yep,
You know what I'm
stuff
saying?
was happening.
Mum
no.
left them. There was all kinds of stuff. The house
mum
smelled
bust out?
alcohol. Yeah, there was all kinds of mad things going on. Yeah. But you see, for us, it's like in a moment you think, it's a little bit mad, but then it's just normal. Because even where we live, it's like my thing was definitely not like that, but we were all still somewhere in the same class.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just get on with stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that bringing it like full circle to what you're saying with the Dizzy thing is that Dizzy went through a madness,
100%.
but he's come back and everyone's just sort of cracked on.
Yeah, got on with
But
it, man.
that madness was a real thing.
Yeah.
But man was still around him though.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I remember seeing him when he come back. Like the first time I saw him, I think he got flown out to like a neighbouring island, went through the whole operation and everything, had to heal there. But when he came back, it was news. Like, this is back. Everyone's like, because everyone was waiting for him to come back. We're getting reports on the news, you know, near death experience. And I remember just looking at him, running up to him to greet him, but there was a look in his eye, and it wasn't the same. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't anything personal.
No, quite hear you.
Now I'm older, I'm just like, ooh. It was like,
What was that type of
Yeah,
situation?
yeah,
I hear.
yeah.
You know what that is sometimes? Sometimes it's the naivety's gone. It's like, rah, I'm naive, I'm just doing this, that and the thing, and then something mad happens and it's like, rah, you wake up and you start seeing things differently.
Yeah.
And you're like,
That's
it's
true.
not that I have a problem with anyone or whatnot,
no,
but
no.
I'm seeing life
Yeah.
mad different.
Yeah.
Especially when it's, for example, like I can only relate it to this job. Like I remember just coasting, and everything's coasting and going well. And then obviously his stuff was real, like that was real life, innit? But then mine would have been like 2019 when that thing happens, and then they say, "Oh, cancel Poet."
Yeah.
Brother, all of a sudden,
What happened?
something where they tried to cancel me, but they didn't realize that me and God are best friends. So then, and then like that happened, and bro, I cannot lie to you. All of a sudden, you know that sort of, it's a lovely day. You're like, no, it's a very real day.
Yeah.
Like it can be lovely, but guess what? It also might. Once you see consequences and you have hindsight and all of that, brother, it does change you a lot, bro. Consequences of actions. Once you see your consequence of your own actions, you're like, rah. It makes you super. J. Cole!
You know what I mean?
It does change you, but I will still follow through. J. Cole.
Just quickly talk on that charity there that you're part of, that you've got going on.
So we started in 2017. Myself and Raps were doing some youth work, working in our community, working with young people. Before that, and in 2017 we actually formulated, it's called the Ruff Sqwad Arts Foundation. It's just about supporting young people. Most of the young people was growing up with at that time from our area, they had elder siblings that used to listen to us. Do you know what I mean? And they was asking us for opportunities. Is there anything we can do? And there's a lot of regeneration going on at that time, a lot of development. All the youth clubs were shut down. And then just by chance, around 2016, there was a youth club that opened up basically on our estate. And the then kind of leader of that youth club, or manager of that youth club, came and spoke to me and said, yo, I want you guys to do something for the community. So we just started doing some music workshops. One thing led to another. But we're doing a lot of crazy stuff at the moment, films, podcasts. We've had a lot of success stories. A lot of young people have come through the academy, come through the foundation and done some great stuff. So it's mainly me and Raps, but Dirts is there. We're all part of it. Just about supporting the next generation, you know. Yeah.
No, big up for that, man.
That's cool.
I know. Yeah, if there's any way that we can add value to what you're doing, you just let us know.
100%.
Definitely.
100%.
Thank
We'll be
you.
down for that.
I have to go back to music and ask one thing. So obviously the sound of grime, that's almost like a mellow grime that Oakland's doing quite predominantly. The like remixes of loads. I think it's so sick. Rapid. What's your thoughts on that? And do you think that's a way? And not even just Rapid, everyone actually. Dangerous as well, because top producer, bro. Like, what's your thoughts on that sound, and what can that potentially do for grime? Can it revive it, and can it give it almost like a second life, rebirth, Jesus Christ, Good Friday thing?
I like that sound, you know. I like it. I've heard even myself. They've put me one of my old freestyles on one of them tracks. Went viral on TikTok. I was like, okay.
So I ain't heard that.
Something the only thing I think about it is sometimes like it seems like the bars are offbeat.
How can I find it? How can I find
They're
it?
probably doing that on. I don't
How can I
know,
find
you know.
it?
Maybe they might just.
I don't even know, you know.
Poet, how can I find it?
Would you have to type in Wise?
To find the Oakland.
One of the producers is called Wise.
So go to Wise's Instagram. Wise does loads of them.
Yeah. He's
And then
hard.
Oakland does, but Oakland doesn't. The ones I see from Oakland are all on his Spotify, so I don't know.
Okay.
But Wise has them on his page. Wise has one of me and Scribs. Shout out Wise.
Come on.
We're talking about you on the way here because obviously Aaliyah, the camerawoman, she's young in a way. She's doing her thing within the media, but she didn't know about the history of grime. So she was asking. I said, "This guy's a spitter, you know. You don't know."
Come on, Channel legend, bro.
She thought. I swear she said something about a poet. Did you say poetry? I was like, nah. We had to give her the insight and let her know. Wait, this is not a joker when it comes to music. Right. Obviously, the podcast interviews, but he's a music man originally. You get
me?
To
be honest with you, I just call myself poet. I didn't want to get beat up. It was long, fam. Nah, brother. Hcpod was crazy. It was crazy. But so what do you going back to that sound? What do you think about that sound? Can that definitely help?
Yeah, I think the new gen, like if they're taken to it, then of course it's definitely gonna help. And a lot of the beats back in the day was quite harsh, quite hard on the ear. They might hear the first 8 bar, think, "No, what's this?" and just lock off. But I think that sound is quite soothing and easy to listen to. And I think Ruff Sqwad sound kind of fits into that as well. Certain beats,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so. Someone done one where they put Skepta and Wiley's freestyle over together, and that went viral as well. But it was like one of those type of producers, the Mellow K or one of those. I don't know who actually done it, but yeah, it just kind of fits into that sound because I always felt like the Ruff Sqwad sound, it wasn't really grime. It was at 140, but it was just a combustion of different genres that we put into 140.
100. And do you know what I felt like about I felt that way about Scorcher as well. I felt that way about Wretch. I felt like some of the movement. Grime when I was younger was not 140 BPM. Grime was just what's happening.
Literally.
And then the best example of it sonically would have been 140 BPM. But Grime would have been going first sport, getting a tracksuit. Grime would have been me coming up to Stratford and leaving very quickly.
As well, Jammer had a rhythm that was like it had to be about 95 BPM, and it was just one of the most. You just never heard anything like it. But you still associate with that with grime.
But it was grime. So what did you say to me?
It's got a lot of strings
that you had on
Channel E?
Yeah.
With Scribs?
Yeah.
Ironic. DJ Ironic.
Was there a sample in there? Like
it's Timbaland Magoo, R.I.P. Magoo, my G.
Crazy.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Grime, right?
That was grime, bro.
Timbaland had a massive influence on grime, bro.
Talk about that. What do you mean?
Go for that. Because his style was just unorthodox. I could never figure out what the pattern was gonna be. Like with the beat pattern. So I was like, this is crazy. So when I started making beats, I kind of wanted to do that same thing. I never wanted anyone to understand what I'm doing.
Was there any Timbaland beats in particular that definitely said, "Yo"?
I know one.
The Aaliyah one.
Which one?
Aaliyah one. It's got bear with Aaliyah. I can't remember what it got. Dun.
Listen.
There was this as well.
Boy, I've been watching you like a hawk
that
in
changed
the
my life, bro.
Come on, fam. Oh, that somebody's like crazy with them.
Get
out!
Yeah. Tim
done a sick something.
Yeah, Tim was a
that's like
Tim,
grime
big up
itself.
Tim, man.
Fam,
Big
My
up
Love
Tim.
by Justin Timberlake. When I first heard that, I didn't know what was going on with Timbaland.
What? You mad?
I was like, yo, Timbaland's
That's
dope
it,
producer.
it's definitely
What other producers
inspiration.
in grime? Sorry to cut you. What other producers in grime did you really admire and love?
I like Jammer
Jammer was
because of the instrumentation. Like it was very orchestral. Like trumpets, violins. You could almost see it. With like an opera in the whole opera hall.
It reminded me of his personality. It was so big, and loud, and unapologetically like that. He has a drama beat.
I like obviously Wiley when he come with I Will Not Lose and No We. I was like, what is this?
Creeper.
And
that was Danny Weed.
That
That was Danny Weed, isn't it?
Dizzy Rascal, man. Jump.
Wait, hold on. Can we be clear on something, by the way? Did Danny Weed? Maybe this is a question for Wiley more so. But was Danny Weed and Wiley working directly together at some point, production-wise? I'd like to know that.
And Target, I think all three of them.
Yeah.
They use the same studio and similar type of sounds.
Yeah.
Similar to
Same
them.
palette. Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah. Danny Weed, Target. Wow.
Yeah, because when you listen to certain elements of there's certain rhythms like Creeper that Danny Weed did, that still very much had a massive Wiley type influence on it. but then maybe you could say it was the other way around also, innit? That's why like sometimes when I hear certain rhythms that Danny Weed did, I always associate it with Wiley or Wiley with Danny Weed, and I'm like, what was that there? Because obviously I know that them lot were brethren anyway, and Target's in the middle of that. You know, he probably was the glue that had that together anyway. But yeah, I'm curious. That's a question for Wiley anyway.
Is it more the vibe? So is it like, because that's kind of interesting. Is it more like, for example, me and my friends, you could hear my brethren speak and hear me speak and go, yeah, they're from the same area.
That's that.
Is it that type of situation with producing? Like people.
Yeah. Do you know what I think with the Wiley thing? I don't know if Danny Weed was like a producer by trade. I think Wiley just brought him in. So like, look,
that's Wiley.
Use my thing, like,
that's
use
Wiley.
my sounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the other day, I said to rappers, you know what? I'm gonna use your palette and make a beat. I've never actually done that. Like rapid, like there's producers that like I'm a producer that I love to mix it up. I don't like use like once I make one tune, I'll never really open that same page up and make another tune in that.
Serious?
I just have to find different sounds. I just like to try everything.
Have you always been like that, or is it something you...
Always. That's why
Crazy.
it's like, if you think about Together, Misty Cold, Anna, Down, they're all different
you
sounds.
made Anna?
Yeah.
That's one of the greatest... That's one of the greatest rhyme beats
Yeah,
of all
After that.
time, bro. I swear to God,
Oh,
bro.
that's mad.
That beat there, bro, that's godly, fam. Man puts that on and used to go mental. You know when you play a beat and then man's got lyrics and this guy... Bro, that's what I was... When that... Fam...
Yeah, man.
Are you nuts?
Yeah,
I hate you lot for
I'm
stopping.
not gonna lie. I thought that was
hate
you
you
rap.
for
I thought that was
stopping.
rapping still.
Do you know what?
Why did you think it was rapid though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
did-
do you know what?
that
I tell you
happens
what.
a lot.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
I actually just assumed wrongly that you produced
Everything,
the majority of
everything,
it.
Yeah, so a lot of people
Bro, that's
think
happened
that,
a
but-
lot to me. Like, no, it's
But
me,
brother,
you know.
big you up for that.
Thank you.
I didn't know who produced it. I didn't know who produced it. But you producing that, bro, you're a madman. I don't know what's going on in your mind now.
Listen,
I know you heard the question rap.
even to this day, I sit
What
down
is
with him
that?
and I'm
Yes,
gassed to be his mate. I'm like, fuck you. So you made that when we were like teenagers, and I'm like,
Wait, for real? How old was you when you made Anna?
Could have been like in year 10.
Oh, get out.
Oh, is that
Get
how old are you when
out.
you were in year 10 though?
That's like 15, bro.
Yeah, 14, 15 years old.
Are you stupid, bro?
Listen to
Yeah,
it
but
today. It's like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
were you
yeah,
doing?
yeah,
I think it's one of the greatest grime.
You made Anna at 15.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Most of them songs
Cuz, nah.
was done in
That's
school.
at 15. Do you know what I was making? A damn mess. There's no way I was making anything relevant.
But as Rap said, it was a computer game, bro. It was just like, we're just on the computer.
Just doing
like,
your thing.
yeah, I remember my dad got me this tiny PC and I was just begging him for the PC so I can play motocross racing, you know, with the joystick, and I was doing all of that. And then for the guys, older brother Ecstasy came through.
Shout out for the...
His
Wait, his older brother's called what?
Ecstasy. So he's the one who made Shut Up Functions on the Low. That's the guy who made it. So yeah. But he
All
he
of you
gave-
just make this is nuts, bro.
he gave me he gave my older brother the Fruity Loops cracked version, and when that came on the thing, I saw my brother making beats, and I was like, "Bro, this looks mad interesting." And I just started. How I started was like trying to make songs that I already knew. So I made Oi,
Yeah.
but I only had I had a sound that said take, so I used the take instead of. So I just started building. I remember shouting Slicks because Slicks lives upstairs from me at the time.
That's cold.
Yeah, man, it was a mad close unit. So, I kept on showing him some of the beats, and I remember Dizzy coming through, and he was like, "Yo, bro, you can produce, you know, like be proud of your stuff. Like, you wanna join Dirty Stank?" I was like, "Yeah, when you're ready, I'm here." Do you know what I mean? But
Serious.
yeah, so yeah, just kept on flowing, and it got better and bigger, and we'll just start taking them to radio fresh off floppy disk. and then just play the tunes on radio and see how the people felt, and it just started to grow like that.
Brother, do you know what? Sometimes I feel like getting all of the artists, you know, from back in the day in grime and making them really understanding what they're doing. Because do you know what? Like, honestly, in year 10 to have made Anna is
it's genius.
such
It's genius.
a ridiculous thing.
100%.
Like,
Do you know what it is
that's
though? I would want them to just be in the room, just to be a flower on the wall, to hear the conversation.
to hear the conversations, bro.
Because
make it
obviously
happen,
you
let's
lot
make
are
it
older
happen.
now.
But
Huh?
You guys can make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Do you know what I rate about
Let's put the
grime though?
calls in.
You know what I
That'll be
rate about
interesting.
grime? Like, then hip hop. Like, them man, obviously they're geniuses as well, but they used a lot of samples. Like, our thing was from the dome. Like, everything that we created was from fresh hand ideas, straight from that. So I think for us grime boys that done that back in the day, it was total genius because we were just making
That's quite
stuff
true
on my mind.
actually. When I deep it, because
And
Jungle
be-
had bare
true.
dancehall,
Like,
and
it was-
ragga
We
thing.
should understand.
Garage had like they took like R&B vocals
All
and
the
then
time.
Had a few
Yeah.
I think it was
dancehall
fresh.
ones or
That's
whatever.
why I sound one as well, because it was just something that just came from us, like authentically.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what's so crazy now? Now I still can't get over at 15 years old. You mate Anna. This is all mad. But it was like you lot were making a soundtrack for man's life. You lot don't even know me, bro. You lot didn't have a clue who the hell I was. And everyone in and around us, that's what grime was. It was almost like a soundtrack for people's lives today. What's kind of interesting is what type of music genre do you feel has come close to being a soundtrack for everybody's life? Because you know drill's almost like a soundtrack for a particular type. I felt like grime had a bit of something for everybody. Has there been a genre you feel since then, obviously barring hip hop, that is kind of, or a subgenre in hip hop, which is kind of catered for everyone since grime like that?
Since grime. The trap era was quite
yeah, for real.
like because that came with culture, dressing, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it's just not about the music, and it's the culture. It's how people dress. Like you even mentioned it with us, like
Bro, you lot were the best dressed man,
You
bro.
know.
I can't lie.
so. Yeah, from when I think like ASAP Rocky, that type of era there, I feel like that was a massive influence on like how people started to move in life.
Yeah, you know what? It's a bit controversial, probably, but I would say it's probably drill. You know,
I was literally going to.
do you know why? Because I don't think it's necessarily about the particular kind of group or people that listen to it or champion it. But I think it's more so the parallel is it's
The
youth
impact.
culture.
Yeah,
Youth
you're
culture.
right. You're
Grime
right.
was youth culture. It was made by the youth for the youth. Drill was made by the youth for the youth. And two people, like I remember when, like in our charity and the youngers were coming through with drill at first, I felt like an old man. I was like, what's this? Like, there were certain bass lines in that I could resonate with, but it just sounded like one long tune. And then when I started listening to it more, I'm like, oh, there's difference. And then you had a few different people. Okay, the flow was kind of a bit repetitive, but then you had a bit of characters coming through. Different rappers saying different things. I think it was when I think Heady One was the first artist I really took notice of.
Yeah.
Like
Shout out
from that
Heady,
movement.
dropping very soon.
He done some Link Up TV freestyle. And that's when I was like, okay, this is very interesting. I like this thing.
And that was naturally always going to happen, I think, because, you know, like you get, when something starts to happen, you do get a lot of people that are jumping on the same sort of sound and wave and the way that they're delivering and whatnot, But then, like, the ones that stand out are the ones that are different.
Yeah.
They have something different about them. If you take that back to Graham, for example, it was like, we can't discount a time where there was enough man that were trying to spit the same, but you know what? You still had D double though.
Just about to
You get
say
what I'm
that,
saying?
D-double.
Yeah.
You know,
Still
you
had a Bruiser.
man-
Characters,
yeah, you had
yeah,
Bruiser.
yeah.
You had these guys that just were like, they were just different, though. Like extra
I
different.
felt that with Abracadabra when I first heard him. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
it's that
What?
shit changed drill
Bro.
for me. Like,
Yeah.
made me want to listen.
His cadence is piercing.
That was like, he was like, I feel like he inspired Pop Smoke. God forgive me for saying, I heard that type of first, and then when I heard they used to chat, it's super like, Jesus Christ,
Okay.
that conversation needed
That wouldn't
subtitles,
surprise
bro.
me.
It's different.
That wouldn't surprise me.
It's not someone no one's saying, but nah, it doesn't surprise me at all that they
Yeah.
were conversating because they sounded so similar.
Well, listen, brother, man, then love for coming out. Flea FM out right now.
Come on,
by
man.
the way, Flea FM out
Run
right
that
now. Quickly though, Poet, have you got any howlers?
I've got some weird stuff, man. I didn't really prepare it because
We do like a couple howlers and that, and if Poet has any, you can react to them. You threw
This
some
is
stuff in the
weird.
group. I ain't seen them.
I
But.
threw loads of stuff in the group.
Go
like,
for two. Oh, we didn't even talk about OJ getting.
Brother, I can't believe OJ's dead, fam. He's
Yeah,
the
that was
first
mad.
person to kill a white
Saw that
person and
today.
get away with
I
it.
get away with it. Bust case.
And boss case.
Yeah.
Case.
Wearing the
Bust
same gloves.
case. I wrote a book called If I Did It.
If I did it,
I can't believe it.
In
If I
in the
did
90s.
it.
worse.
No.
Do you know what's even
I
worse than
know.
that?
As well.
The other day he was. He was on camera and
No,
he was on Cameron and Macy's show, and they started talking about confessions. He goes, confessions? I'll never confess. I'm like, you
Is
can't
it?
make
That's
jokes.
crazy.
You're 75. Do you know who's
Take it
You
young?
know
Bro.
as well, yeah. Do you know even the whole thing of him going to jail is funny though, because
Brother.
he was having a little bit of money problems or whatever. Sold his memorabilia, like his stuff, and then tried to rob it back.
Okay.
Man went there with the stick.
How long did he go to jail for?
They got 23 years for that, or 30. 23 years. But the reason why
Did
I
he
think it was
bust it?
so heavy, nah, he got.
He went to prison that time.
He
How
went to
long?
prison. But I think the only reason why his thing was so heavy, is because they were like, big man,
Yeah.
go away with this one.
Not this
so
one,
this
bro.
one,
Yeah.
we're gonna throw the book at
You
you.
have to sit down.
But
Yeah, you have to
they
sit
still
down.
couldn't keep him in there though, didn't they? He come out, no?
Yeah, he did. He came out in there, but yeah, he came out, and he just looked exactly the same as he did when he licked that girl down.
Do you know who's not coming out?
Exactly the same.
Who's staying where they are?
Who?
Russell Simmons. But I think he should
Oh,
come out
shit.
because his daughter's 21.
Is he in jail?
No, he's not in
Nah,
jail.
he's in
In
Bali.
Thailand.
But he might as well be in jail because Bali for black man. I mean, what you really doing?
Yeah.
I mean, after you've meditated for a year, like my guy.
Give me the scoop on that. What's going on with him?
Well, Russell Simmons was, I believe, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe he was touching people when they didn't want to be touched.
Yeah. There's
Which
like,
is
there's
some
strong
years ago,
allegations on him, and also like
Strong
other things
allegation.
came out of like him and when he started dating Kamora Simmons. Is
Yeah.
that her name?
Yeah, what
that's
the
the mother
how?
of his child. But she, like,
okay.
apparently she was like 16 or something when he was first troubling.
I heard their daughters.
All right, so let's get on to that
Alright.
because it's so funny that you say the father was dating who was quite young, and then all of a sudden, what's the daughter doing?
Cycle.
Well, the daughter is 21, going out of a man that is 65.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, is this the brother?
So should we go
Is he
through all
rich
of
though?
Is he rich?
Yeah.
Oh, come
Of
on.
course
Easy.
Ain't no rich.
Now, let me tell you something. Neither of them have back off.
Oh my god!
If we take a look at the first picture, neither of them are in a healthy state. I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts, one person you turn sideways, she disappears. The other one you turn sideways, if he looks down, he probably can't see his penis.
She is
now,
banking on the fact that he don't have a high sex drive.
my brother, my whole thing is I shouldn't
She
cuss
is
them.
banking
Of
on the
course.
fact that he don't have a high sex drive. Because let me tell you something: if he has got a high sex drive, she's pissed.
Pissed. If he wants it 3 times a day, what?
Yeah.
Her small frame can't take that anyway. So I just think personally, all I would say to our black men, the black men in society, this is what happens potentially if you abandon your child. She could be 21 on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean whilst you're in Bali with a 65-year-old white man who doesn't look like he's dying for another 10 years.
No, but he
So
wa-
I would just advise that we look after
Bro,
our
have you seen
children.
a video of her speaking to him like online,
It's mad.
saying I'm gonna get a sugar daddy if you don't up my allowance?
Brother,
you up my allowance?
brother.
He was like, "What are you talking about? You're good, man." And whether there's a bit of banter in it, but she said it. You got
She's
up my peas, and she's done it.
Do you know what the thing is? Do you know I like to. You see, no disrespect to women, yeah, but I love all women. I love
In
everyone,
certain-
but you
in
just
certain-
can't make
in
certain jokes to me like that. I don't like that joke.
Is that the daughter?
I don't like that
This is
joke.
this is the convo.
Capability, right? I shouldn't
Chucky's on point.
Quick.
Nah, it's not gonna come out properly on the thing, bro. It's
You know these times she already had the sugar daddy lined up. You know?
yeah, there you go.
Lined up.
Maybe they
yeah,
both
that's
knew
what
about
the
it, and this is the way how they're getting it out.
Yeah, that's the way that they start to do the PR on it, innit? But hear what I'm saying anyway, yeah? I hear all of that stuff, right? But you know what? In reality, this shit happens all of the time. If you got money, let me tell you something.
Chat to
Let's be clear here. If you got money, power, and influence, yeah, there's just a chance you're gonna bag her.
But can't she love him? Just look at him and love him. He's an older man. He can teach her about stuff. I'm just asking.
Is,
Rapid, one
is
second.
it possible?
I'm
Is it
asking.
possible?
Yes.
Yes.
But
But
Rapid,
is it happening?
No.
No. No.
You're not having it.
No.
Rapid at
You
certain
never
times.
see
Nah,
this.
man.
I never see examples of this of a Don who has no P that looks like that. It's just never happens, bro. If you see a Don like that with this, it's because there's money involved.
Or a passport or
And
something.
also, do you know what? You know the maddest thing is, yeah, is that like when you go on holiday, see when you were like when you go in different parts of the world and that anyway, yeah, it's like it almost feels like elements of just that this type of exchange is quite normal, which is quite shocking to be honest with you.
Not really. It's not shocking, but it's disappointing more than shocking.
Okay, right.
Not,
It's disappointing.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
That's it. Yeah.
Who are you more disappointed with?
Everyone. The mum, the dad, the parents, everybody.
Them
The
to
guys at
everyone.
the beach, the person that let them in the hotel. Like no one said, big man, what is going on? What is going on? We can't normalize this. Do you know why? You listen, this is the one time in life you shouldn't have metal in your bum. You don't have to sit on the fence all the time. I think in this
Metal in your
sit-
bum?
Yeah,
That's
sitting on the
not-
fence.
Sitting on the
Oh,
fence.
I just think this situation right here, if that 21-year-old girl is my sister
Or daughter, you want?
or my daughter, I'm not happy. So why am I happy if it's someone else who's picking me up?
That's crazy.
It doesn't feel right for
But
me.
hear what as well, yeah. It's like, you know, if that's what they're gonna do, cool. There's loads of different conversations to be had within that. But whatever else, she's 21. He's 65.
21.
They're like in the letter of legality, they could do what they want to do. Yeah. But let me tell you something. it becomes a stinker, a bigger stinker when a child gets involved, because the child being involved in something like this is off the premise of, it's like foolishness really. There's the back of money. It's like my dad and my mum got together essentially off some sugar daddy thing, and that's just nuts to me in my mind. But you know,
For the people that are doing it, don't worry. When I'm 65, J-Lo.
Hey, I'm with you.
J-Lo. No, you better be. I would be by myself with her. I'm with you.
Man, wait, what's this here? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
You
put
had
it on the
Joel
screen.
there.
All right then.
Just put it on the screen when he's talking about it. Yeah.
Can I just say one thing before we leave? Joelle Noble might be the hottest in the game right now. She is gorgeous. She is, brother. She looks like a morning in Jamaica. I'm her team right now, brother.
Oh,
You
and
got
mornings
Joel
in
Noble,
Jamaica are absolutely incredible.
Brother,
Noble.
how do I say? So I'll say it correctly. Joelle Noble.
Joel the Noble. They got Joe, man.
Yeah, big up.
Very noble.
Brother,
Shout out, her, man.
thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah.
Love,
Yeah,
love,
man.
always,
Peace.
man.
Peace.
Love.